Alright, I've talked a lot about how to do a lot of things with a WordPress blog and simple setup of a blog post on Medium. But now I want to show you a few examples of different blogs that are out there that you might be interested in to take a look and see some of the similarities between them all so that it gives you a good idea of how to set up your own blog. So let's take a look at a professional healthcare blog, and we're here at blogs.aafp.org, and we're at the Leader Voices blog. And this is a forum for AFP leaders and members. So it's pretty simple. It's a two-column setup. You've got your share buttons, which when you click share should send you out to almost every social network known to man. And then you have your feeds. You can set up as a feed and search this whole blog for different content. Sign up for email notifications when the blog is updated. You can check out various news stories and recent entries. Here you have a tag cloud as well, and you can see all the archived topics, which work like categories. So this is very similarly set up to how the WordPress site was actually set up as well. You have your content here in the middle with some photos, and you have here you actually have comments that are kind of hidden. So you can click on comments, and then it'll take you to an area where you can log in for comments. So you have to actually have an account with blogs.afp.org to comment on things, but you can actually set up comments and then read them all here. So as I clicked on the post, and I'm actually inside this post, so I'm only looking at this one particular post. I'm going to go back a page. So their content is set up like this. All their posts, the full text, are on the page here, and they're then delineated by this line with its timestamp. So we have the day before when the last one was posted, the day before that, and the day before that. So as you can see, this is how their blog is set up, and this is a really popular blog. It's a professional healthcare blog, and this gives you an idea of how the different people who are contributing to this blog, how they're writing. So I definitely suggest that you check out blogs.aafp.org, and this will give you a really good idea of how to post as a professional and talk about healthcare in that forum. So that is one example. Let me show you an example of a physician's site that is talking about healthcare and is also their own personal site. So it's a mix between the two. And this is our good pal Mike Sevilla in Ohio. It's Dr. Mike Sevilla, family physician, and this is a blog of a family doctor. And as you can see on his setup, it's very different as well. It's the centered location he has to share. You can connect with him on LinkedIn, Pinterest, Google+, Twitter, Facebook, and then YouTube. And as you can see here, this is his blog roll. So his homepage has the most current posts that he has going in reverse chronological order. So that is how his blog post is set up. And then you can go to the different pages on his site and see how things are set up here. So he has different pages: media, contact, the blog itself, about, and you can go to his podcast, which is basically like radio style voiceovers talking about issues. So it's kind of like a recorded radio show that you're posting out. Very similar to how I'm doing this tutorials for these chapters. But you can go and listen to all of his podcasts, and you can listen to them in your car or at work, and you can hear what they're talking about compared to just reading. So podcasts are something that is another exciting, fascinating avenue with blogging. And then he has more info, which shows subscribe, search, index, and this helps to find different information about his site. So this is a great example of a physician who has a blog site set up and is very active with social media as well. So I suggest a shout out to my pal Mike Sevilla here. Check out his site, read his information here, and get a really good feel for how he does work for a blogging as a physician. Now, I've showed you two healthcare blogs. Let me show you one that's outside of the healthcare industry, healthcare realm, and this is Matt Report. So this is about a gentleman, Matt Medeiros. He's a WordPress entrepreneur. He's a developer and designer, and this is set up as a professional blog for business WordPress developers, entrepreneurs, and startups. So we're going to go back to his name, and his setup is very similar as well. He's using a WordPress blog to do all of this, and his site is just mattreport.com. But as you can see, it's got this 2-column setup, which is very similar to what we've seen already. And he's showing you all of his widgets on the side, most recent, top posts and pages. He has a search bar as well. He has set up for advertising, but even though this is his own site, this is advertising his own design studio. And then here you can see all of his posts. So he has the more tag set up, so he can click on to continue reading. And when you do click on the actual post, then you can go in and see everything about that post and read it. And there he has it set up, share this to Twitter, share this to Google+, and then share it to Facebook. So below here you can see comments, and this is how you can see how comments are working. So he has people that are commenting on his posts, and he's replying back to them. And this is a really good site. This is a really good site, an example to show you how to respond to comments, because he has a lot from the very positive contents to comments that are more negative in nature too. So you can see how well he does things and how he responds back to people. So you've got Matt Report, you've got drmikesevilla.com, and you've got blogs.aafp.org. And these are 3 really good examples of different blogs that are out there and posting styles. So take a look at these and then explore some other blogs on your own, see how they are set up. And you're going to notice that they look very similar to media posts and articles from like Washington Post or New York Times. They follow that kind of look and mentality. But the idea of the blog is that you have more of your own personality inside of there. And as you can see, every one has set up with other social media. So with the double AFP, you have share the whole page, and you can share out to every single different platform that is imaginable. You have with Mike Sevilla, you can take a look at his, you go to his blogs, and you can then read about his, and you can see his sharing features. So we'll go down below here. You can share, and then he has set up Twitter, Facebook, Google+, there's LinkedIn Share, and there's StumbleUpon, Reddit, Pinterest, and Tumblr. So he has a lot of them set up on here as well. And then Matt Report is set up that you can share Twitter, you can put it into Buffer to put into apps. You can also use Facebook, and you can also use Google+, and you can also set up on, share it by email. So as you can see, connecting your blog to other social media sites is extremely important, and it bucks the trend of what I've been saying all along of keep them separate. With a blog, you're actually creating content that you can share out to other media sites. So depending on how you want to set your blog up, you could actually send it out to LinkedIn and Twitter if it's more professional and more healthcare related, or you could send it out to Twitter and Facebook if it's more personal and just your own journal of the things that happen to you. So that's what some different blog examples are, and I hope that you take a look at some other ones that are out there. And if you have any questions about any of them, send me a link and I can tell you how the breakdown of it works.